and it's recording. 1 hour and about 20 minutes, like one class session, will give me a file that is approximately 1.7 gigabytes. I cannot post it on my own server because my ISP will probably just disable my account after 2 days or so. So that would not be a good idea. So what I usually do with my lectures, with all the screen recording, is I post it on YouTube. Now YouTube does have a restriction. I can only post, each clip can be up to 15 minutes only. And that's already better than before. Before it is only 10 minutes. So I have another script to chop my video recording down to like 15-minute segments. And then I upload each one individually, and then I string them all together using a playlist in YouTube. And I will send the link to the playlist to the entire class, so that you guys only need to know the playlist, and it will automatically, when you're done with one clip, it will bring up the next one, and so on. Yep.
What do you usually call them, like the videos on YouTube? Because I tried searching you over the weekend, and all I got was a bunch of cat videos.
Cat videos? You must be just typing in tag. Try some profs or TAUYEUNG. My first initial plus my last name. So that would probably pop up something that's more useful. But before we start today's class, I know we have wasted some time already, but I do want to kind of share with you something that my colleagues sent me, which is somewhat interesting in a way. Oh, I have to show you. This is from myself. Have you guys wondered how come people would pay like $500 for an iPad? How many of you have an iPad? Have seen an iPad? Have touched an iPad? Okay, very good. So you guys know what an iPad is. What is it good for?
Internet browsing. Internet browsing.
Internet browsing is one, but the browser on the iPad is not exactly like Firefox or Internet Explorer. There are certain things that it cannot do. For example, the HTML editor, inside a lot of the email programs, do not work well with the built-in browser, or does it work okay from your experience? Okay. All right. So I just want to kind of bring this up, because I think this is the trend. Okay, there's no way this tide is reversing anytime soon. This is a 10.2-inch ePad. Okay, obviously a play of the name, iPad, and it has Wi-Fi built into it. Android 2.0, and shipping included from China, from Shenzhen, China, is $208. Okay. So it's about the same size as an iPad. I would say all the other features will be comparable, minus the really good support of Apple products. But the price is off by $300. Plus, since this is an Android platform, you can also write your own software. There's not as much control as to what kind of applications you can put onto the device.
You don't even need the support. You could buy two. And then if one breaks.
2.5, yes. But wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. This one is a slightly smaller one. This one has another type of processor. This one is faster, but it's only a single core. The other one has a dual core processor. This one has a single core processor, but look at the price. This is 7-inch, and the price is $110. I think this is already a relatively high markup already. If you guys really look, you can find ones that are even less expensive than that. Yep.
Did you see the article, the one where they made a pad in India? It was roughly the same.
Yes.
It was $30.
Yeah, $35. The target price was $35. That one only has a non-backlit black and white LCD screen, but $35 for an Android-enabled pad that's pretty impressive. Yes. Well, a backlit screen means most of your phones have backlit screens, so you can basically read stuff in the dark, complete darkness. The reflective type is really good, in really bright environments, like in the sun. But when if you're in a dim room, you need to have enough light. You need to have a little flashlight to read what is on it. It's kind of like a DS. The original DS does not have backlights, right? Yep, exactly. Game Boys don't have backlights, so you have to kind of make sure that you have enough background light to see what is going on. But it does improve, one thing, improves battery life significantly, because the backlight of any devices is actually a major power drain. If you turn off the backlight on your phone or just, dim it, you will see that, your battery can last a lot longer than when you use a bright backlight. So that's kind of interesting stuff. But, this trend is not going to stop. Okay, you will continue to see these tablet devices. The price will continue to go down. And Android is just going to take over the world. No, I'm not kidding. I mean, you will see the march of the Androids. Yep.
You know the price for the Microsoft's iTable, the giant table one that they have? Do you know what the price is?
I have no idea.
That thing is huge.
It's in the thousands.
Yeah, that thing's huge. It's literally a tabletop that's just one tablet PC.
Mm-hmm. Now, how big is it? I mean, is it the same size as a HD TV, like a 52-inch, 55-inch HD TV?
I'd say I think it's probably about 20 inches at least, if not bigger than that. Because I only saw one picture of it, and it was about a week or so ago.
Yeah, I saw too. Like a coffee table.
Yeah, it literally was the coffee table was the computer, and it was like I saw like the lady's hand compared to it, and it was
tiny,
like that compared to the table.
Well, something of that size is not going to run Android. You need something a lot more powerful to run it. It was a Microsoft thing?
Yeah, it's got Windows.
Well, Microsoft also has the iPad in its crosshair. I think Steve Ballmer has stated that he wanted to build a device that is the iPad killer. I think the Android beat him to it already. Microsoft is just a little bit too slow in this regard.
They should stick to OS.
Well, I don't think they can even stick with their own OS anymore. They're in big trouble. Whether they know it or not is another story. Okay, the other thing I want to show you guys, which is actually somewhat demotivational, but nonetheless, it is something that I think you should note, is this here. We are number 1. Oh, wait, I missed another one here. We are number 11. Okay, so that's another article that I think people should read. At least they should be aware of these things. Okay, so this should be large enough here. Okay, so basically the first was in Newsweek under the ironic title, "We are number 11." Okay, this piece by Michael Hirsch went on to say, "Has the United States lost its oomph as a superpower? Even President Obama isn't immune from the gloom. Americans won't settle for number 2. Well, we're not even close to number 2 at this point. We are number 11. So, it went on to try to identify the problem, and you can see that there are there are some reasonings here, and they basically have to deal with since the baby boomer generation, the United States population as a whole has not encountered any hardship. Okay, there's no war, there's no famine, there's no natural disasters. Well, not big enough anyway. There were a few, here and there, but as a nation, as a country, there's no hardship. Okay, and as a result, people are changing, or the culture is changing. And you should read it. Most of you can access it through my other class, quote-unquote class, because most of you should have access to Dr. Tech's cool stuff. And this one is listed under topic number 4, interesting articles, some pointy and harsh. This one is definitely one of those pointy and harsh articles. It really went on to talk about how in a global and flat world that we have in today, it is becoming increasingly difficult to compete with, potential employees from other countries. So it just went on and talked about, how the values, are being shifted, in amongst different countries. So it's a good read, for people who really want to understand issues like that and at least, size up your competition, once you graduate from the school. Okay? Not intentionally trying to depress, people, but I think it is a good article, just to keep yourselves informed. Being number 11 is not bad, okay? not knowing that we are number 11 is worse. Okay, because being number 11 and knowing that we are number 11 means that we can try different ways to become number 1, number 2 again. But not knowing or refusing to acknowledge that we are number 11 is even bigger of a problem. Okay. Yep.
What are we at number 11 in?
I think they're probably using. You have to read the article to find out exactly. I would say it has to do with workforce preparedness, quality of the workforce, that sort of thing, from the context of the article. All right. So where were we last time? Do you guys remember? Well, actually, since I have the file already compressed here, I can just take a look at my own notes and find out. Okay, we talked about pre-checking and we talked about post-checking. So I think we're all ready for the next module. Is that where we are at right now? Okay. Have we talked about nested statements?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So let's go ahead and move on. I'm not going to talk about the solution of the homework assignment because it's already on YouTube. So anyone who's interested in the actual solution can go to YouTube and watch the clip. Yep.
I noticed a 15 and 15 somewhere around this thing. Was that the score?
Yes. 15 out of 15 means you're getting a perfect score. There's 15 points allocated to this homework assignment, and you're getting 15 out of that 15 points.
Well, I didn't know if that was the actual score.
Yeah, it is the actual score. Yep. There's only one person in this class who does not have a score because that person turned in a file that I cannot read. It's an XLR file. I think it is probably coming from Microsoft Works. So that person would have to resubmit the file in a format that I can read. That was it. All right. Have we gotten started with the pre and post conditions with this class? No? This is all new to you guys? Okay, very good. So today's going to be a very exciting class because of this. Because the first question that I posed was, what is this crazy math stuff? Because that's exactly what some people will ask when they first, read into the first section after this one is, why are we doing math? I thought this is a programming class. This is not a math class. Okay? Can someone guess? Okay, give me a guess why mathematics is important in programming. Yep, go ahead. Computers are all based out of math, exactly. Okay. There are three branches there are three ways a computer science department gets to start to exist. One is coming from mathematics, one is coming from engineering, and one is coming from business. Okay, depending on the background of the school or the college. Here we spin off from the business part of the school, and at San Francisco State it was actually coming from the math department. And at UC Davis, it's coming from the engineering department. So depending on the history of the school, it can come from any one of these backgrounds. But it does not really change the fact that mathematics is important in programming. Now, the other question is, do I really have to understand math to become a programmer?
No.
The answer is no, okay? Because you can read books and copy and paste code, right? And typical books, would be PhD for Dummies. Books like this. Okay? So with a book like this, they will have sample code, they will have some explanation of how it works, but for the most part, someone can put together a program just by copying and pasting code, and it is particularly easy in PHP compared to, say, Python or Perl. Those other languages are actually harder to copy and paste.